Hey there, this is a little mini tutorial on a ghosting isolation escalator combo that we actually worked on in the latest hula hoop intensive I did. So, first we're looking at a ghosting isolation. So this can happen in the one spot, or it can be used to move the position of the hoop. So the most important thing with this is that we have one driving hand and one ghosting hand. So to begin with, if you're not familiar with this trick, you can start by doing it in the one spot. So what I want everyone to imagine is that the center of the hoop is going to stay in the center, and the hoop is only going to rotate around its axis and not shift position. So this falls into the same kind of tricks as regular isolations and folds, where our hoop stays in the same position. So to begin with, let's grab the bottom of the hoop, palms facing up, pinky fingers together. So I'm going to drive with my right hand and ghost with my left hand, sorry, to begin with. So this hand isn't actually doing anything. It's pretending to hold the hoop and it's just going to slide along. That's what we call ghosting. So my right hand is going to drive the hoop around. When we get to the top, I'm going to switch which hand is ghosting and which hand is driving. So my right hand will ghost and my left hand will drive. So then we can try just swapping between these positions and trying to get a nice smooth transition. So then we can use it to change the position in space. So if we start with our hands at the bottom like before, and I'm going to drive the hoop with my right, ghost with the left. But instead of it moving my arm up, keeping the hoop in the same position, I'm actually going to drive and bring the hoop down to the bottom. I'm then going to switch which hand is driving and which is ghosting. So left drives up, right ghosts. So we can practice up and down, like that. Try to keep the hoop really vertical. So we don't want any of this action. We want it on this plane. We can then also try going one side to the other or one diagonal to another. So whichever way we are doing it, my hands are always switching, which is ghosting and which is driving, and I want to try to end in full extension. So if I'm coming out to the side, I want to end with my arms extending out to the side and on this edge of the hoop. So we get really nice extension. So same thing, if I'm going directly over to the other side, I'm going to ghost and I want to arrive again with my hands in full extension. Same thing if it's diagonal. I want to land with my hands, full extension on the diagonal, full extension on the diagonal. We can do the same thing with up and down too, coming all the way up, all the way down. You can also think about what's going on with the rest of your body with this trick. So the idea of moving the rest of your body, maybe going in opposition to the hoop. You can play around with levels with your body. Think about what your legs are doing. You can shift weight, whatever feels good to you. There's not many rules here. The hoop can go wherever you want. Your body can go wherever you like. So next in our little sequence, we are going to look at a variation of this ghosting isolation. So whenever we arrive up the top, I'm going to flip the hoop so that my arms are crossed. I don't want my hands too close together because it will be quite uncomfortable. You want to be a little ways apart so you can comfortably and smoothly flip. Now I'm going to drop the hoop and I'm going to let go with the hand that's furthest away from my body. So whichever hand is crossed on the inside, that's the hand that is going to do all the holding here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to release, start to bring the hoop down on the vertical, and then I'm going to open my palm and let it drop to the bottom. And ideally we want to come back to this position where you're framed in the hoop, hand at the bottom. So if I flipped with my right hand on the inside, that means I'm going to drop it, spinning to the left. If you cross the other direction, so you have your left hand on the inside, we're going to drop and let the hoop spin over to the other side. So we want it to spin the opposite way to whichever hand is doing the holding. So let's do that again. Up, flip, drop, down. Next, we're going to do a little fold and quarter isolation. So again, imagining the center point of our hoop is going to stay exactly where it is, and we're going to fold around it. So my hand is going to come from the bottom. I'm going to push the top of the hoop out and bring my hand to the top. So one more time, imagine your center there, flip, pop, center's back in the middle. I'm then going to quarter rotate over to one side, and here I'm going to push the hoop out, and you can have a bit of a play here with framing your hand. Push the hoop out to the side. From here we're going to come into our reverse escalator. So what I'm going to do from this position, I'm going to fold the hoop behind me. So when we talk about folds, it's this kind of opening, closing door action. So I'm going to fold and bring the hoop to rest about on my lower back. From here, I'm going to let go of the hoop and push it away from me and down. So you can even imagine maybe this point of the hoop has a little weight on it, and it's going to slide down to this side. I'm going to release with this hand and give it a bit of a push behind me. At the same time as I release, I'm going to catch it on my opposite knee. So I'm going to release, catch on my opposite knee, and then this knee almost passes it over to the other hand. We are then in position to do a regular escalator. So one more time, fold behind, touch the lower back, release, catch it with the knee, pass it to the hand. Let's see that from behind. So we are then in position for our regular escalator. So we are going to do the exact same path in reverse. I have to lift my leg to get it out of the way, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the hoop against my belly as hard as I can. So what I'm actually doing is releasing and pushing at the same time. So I'm opening my hand. You want to give it a fair bit of oomph so that gravity, so you're working against gravity to get it up. So we push, release. I would recommend popping your left hand around this position in front of your head. I prefer to actually catch it in the same hand that's pushing, but you can catch it in either. So you can push, catch. That does sometimes happen. Catch in your left hand, or you can push, catch in your right. I like the right because it gives you've almost got both hands up there ready to catch. So it gives you a better chance of actually receiving the hoop, and if it happens to kind of touch your arms first, that's no problem, and it's actually protecting your face a little bit. So from behind.